Today I want to talk about achieving huge goals with baby steps. There's many people, including myself, who've had these huge ideas, things that we would like to do in our lives, but they're so big, you're just like, I can't do it, it's just too big. So you just don't do it, and you just think about it and you dream about it, but you don't actually do anything about it because it's something that seems impossible to do. And it could be anything from traveling the world. In my case, I've thought about it probably my whole life, but it was just such a huge thing that it was like, that's, for rich people, I can't do that. And then there's something as simple as, well, not simple, but there's something like trying to pay your bills. Sometimes it could be so overwhelming, like our medical bills that we've acquired this summer, that you're just like, I'm gonna put these away and there's no way I can ever pay them. So you just, again, set them aside. Or it could be going back to college because you're, I don't know, say over 50 or something. You're like, it'll take me forever. I've got a family, a full-time job, and I just can't do it. It's too much. It'll take forever. Or growing a YouTube channel. You may start on any of these things that you have in mind, and then you quit because it just seems like it's too difficult and unachievable. So you're like, why am I wasting my time? But I'm here to tell you that even the largest of the largest goals and dreams can be achieved, but you got to do them in baby steps. At least for me, it's the only way I can see of getting from here to here. I'll use a couple of examples. One is my medical bills. They're huge. Our insurance, we have a huge deductible. There they sit, the stack of bills, just huge, and in the thousands of dollars. I was just putting them in the folder. I'm like, I don't want to deal with it. I can't pay this. It's like ridiculous. But finally I sat down because I knew it had to be done. Don't want to ruin my credit score. So I pulled them all out. Well, actually, very baby steps. This is what I did. I looked at the folder and I'm like, okay, they're all organized now, because before they were like all over my house. So I put them all in one place. That was the first baby step. Then I put them in a folder. So that was the second baby step. You think that I'm not getting anywhere on paying these bills, but actually I am, because I took tiny, tiny baby steps. Then I put them another day. I finally decided, okay, I'm going to put it on the desk and I'm going to just look at them. I'm going to divide them up from, which hospital or, from wherever they're coming from. Then I took the smallest ones, which I knew I could pay, $8, $12, those tiny ones. And I paid them. I got them out of the way. I was like, all right, this is getting better. Now we only have, a dozen more to deal with. Then I started making the phone calls. But before that, I got my pen, I got my notebook. I'm always with my notebook for everything. I have different notebooks. Notebook for everyday things I have to do. And then I've got my new adventure notebook for traveling the world. My notes that I need, that I'm getting a lot of help from you, so thank you. I started making phone calls. And of course, when you're trying to call somebody to get through, they don't answer. They say call back. It's never easy where I can call, can I make a payment? It just doesn't work that way. It's never that easy. So I just dealt with one at a time. And another day came back and did it again. And just slowly. So now I've got things settled with that. It's not paid off, but we're paying them off. The other thing is, for example, traveling the world that I wanted to do. Now that's huge. No matter what it is that you're thinking about, and you're like, well, I can't do it for 10 years. Well, that's okay. And I'm hoping you're enjoying your life today and every day while you've got these goals, because there's always going to be new goals. So try to enjoy your day today, but every day, do a little baby step. Let's use my traveling the world as an example. So what I did was, first of all, as it was swirling in my head after we went on this road trip to see my mother, went to DC, went to North Carolina mountain, and I said, I really want to do more of this. like all the time. I want to explore the world. And I told Rick, I said, we don't do it now. As I said in our other video, when? It's going to be over soon. When I say soon, 20, 30 years. And that goes by like this. The older you get, the more you realize time goes by quick, and you got to do things like now, or at least start planning right now. So I know some of you say it's not in the cards right now, and that's all right. Because, for example, it's not in the cards for us right now to take off and leave because of Willow's college. She has to finish her college before we can go anywhere. Sure, we can go, but then she can't finish her college here. So you have to make priorities. What's the most important thing? A lot of us have to take care of elderly or children, or you got this job, or whatever it is. We all have obligations, and so you think, I can't do this dream because I've got too many obligations. But I don't think that's the case. I think that you can do it. But if you plan on doing it, you really need to make those plans starting now, even if it's a 10-year plan for retirement or whatever. But you got to start now because there's so many small things. My main one for whatever you decide is downsizing. Downsize, you can save money. There's a million reasons why you save money when you have less. Usually when you have less, you don't need such a large home or a large area to fit yourself and your things. Unless, of course, that's what you want and you enjoy it and that is your goal and your plan, and that's all right. So you have to find out what it is for you. I'm just kind of going with what my experience is, and you can kind of fit it into your own life or situation. I always recommend a notebook for whatever it is that you do. If you want to go back to school, get the notebook out and figure out what school do you want to go to. If you want to travel, where do you want to travel? Or why do you want to travel? Or why do you want to go back to school? Then you write that down, and the next step will be a little something. Everybody will have different little steps, but do those steps. Do you need more money? Well, you have to decide, am I going to downsize, sell things off, you get some money, pay off those bills, sell the house, get something smaller, not have a mortgage? Do you need to get a loan for school, financial aid? Get those. Even if you don't think you think it's impossible to go back to college, we're using that as an example here. Just do your homework first before you say, I just can't do it. Go to financial aid, ask, find out what it is or what you want to do. How much do they make? Can you start a business doing it? Sure you can. You can start a business doing anything. So you just write all that down, and as you're getting all this information, you get less overwhelmed and you're like, this is not as hard as I think. All I need to do is X, Y, Z, but then I still have a little more problem here. When am I going to find a time to go to school? Because I got a job, I got kids. Then you realize, oh, they have online classes. Oh, they have night classes, or whatever it is. You just start finding out information. And then you realize that it is possible to do something. Again, in my case, traveling the world, that's a crazy, big, ambitious idea. And so I just started downsizing, getting rid of stuff. I'm working on it now. I'm taking notes. I'm getting information. You folks have been a tremendous help so far. So I'm writing, okay, I need certain banks, I need certain credit cards. I know I'm gonna have to work on the insurance idea. Dogs, I'll have to figure something. So at least I know what I have to do. I hope I'm making some sense here about just getting to bringing this big idea down to bite-size, baby steps. And then for us, once Willow's done with school, or even before, since she's going to be online completely, then we could decide, hey, now we're getting a little lighter here. Things are becoming a possibility. Even though, because there's a lot of things that you don't know now that you will know later, but you won't know later if you don't start with the baby steps and start asking questions about these small things that you do know. And as you're finding out information, these other questions will pop into your head. These other ideas will come into your head. And you know what's really nice about sharing on YouTube or just sharing with your friends and family is they might give you some ideas, So that kind of takes you into maybe a different area you didn't even know about or didn't even think about. And that just starts taking you to where you want to go. And eventually, believe it or not, you'll start believing that your dream is possible, and then that's when it really snowballs. The whole idea starts snowballing because you're like, you know what? I can do this. All I got to do is this, this, and this, because you went through those baby steps. And then you get the hang of how to approach your dream in baby steps, and it becomes a bit of a habit of how you think. It's really important to stay positive through all this, because some of you might think, I can't do it because of money. Then you have to say, well, how do I make more money? So if there's a problem, just don't say, well, I'm stuck because I have this horrible job and they won't give me a raise. Well, give yourself a raise. Start your own business. I can't say it enough. Or get another job if you don't want to start another business. But starting your own business is the one that I highly recommend, because you're going to give yourself a raise. You have to believe in yourself that you can do it. Find your passion, follow it, and just bust your butt doing whatever it is. Because if you have a passion for something, it's not work to you, but you're trying to make money, and sometimes starting a business can be very slow financially. So maybe do a part-time job, because when you're working full-time at a job, you can't work on that passion because you're exhausted, you're drained. After working all day long, you come home. So it's a big vicious circle. But then you're saying, well, then I won't have health insurance. Well, you need to go to the insurance company and find out, what if I quit my job? How much will it cost me? Even if you think that's not something you want to do, just do it. And then you'll be like, oh, it's not as much as I thought, because I won't be making that much money, so it's going to cost a little less. You're not going to know unless you do your research. Or you might say, you got little kids. I can't go anywhere with all these little kids. It's too much. Well, that's fine if you prefer to stay in a home and raise your kids in a home. But if you really got that itch to do the traveling or to do something else, your kids are not stopping you. Your fear is stopping you. There's people who travel the world with many kids. If you don't follow the Sundance family, I highly recommend it. The father, they just had their 6th kid, and they travel the world. They started off very young. The husband and wife, they were boyfriend and girlfriend, traveling the world backpacking, and this was a while ago. And he was recording videos before YouTube. It was, I don't know, late 80s, early 90s. I'm going to say early 90s maybe. So a while ago. And it's interesting because he recorded all their travels from the beginning, from the time she got pregnant with their first child. And I don't know if they were in Peru or where when they found out. They're a German family. Well, he's German. I think she's German, but I'm not sure. But anyways, check them out and look at the old videos from the beginning. It is just so inspirational. But don't think that your dream is impossible because of your situation. Just start taking those notes. You know what? What's the worst thing that could happen? That you decide, I just don't want to do what my options are. But you start taking notes, you start thinking about it, and you just don't know where it's going to lead you. It's like magic. It's like opening a gift when you start taking these notes, because your mind just starts opening up to ideas that you would never have thought of. And even if your own health, I know I might look okay to you folks, but I could barely get out of bed every day. It takes me about 2 to 3 hours to get ready. And what you see is probably the best I feel in the day. The way I travel, I swear it's adrenaline that keeps me going, that excitement. But I have to rest throughout the day. I know exactly what I got to do to be able to pace myself. I'm like, there's no way in heck that I'm going to let a chronic illness stop me from seeing the world or doing what I want. If I have to lay down in a grocery aisle or in my car, that's what I'll do to rest up and move on. But I didn't give up hope about wanting to do what I wanted to do. So you can't give up hope on whatever your situation, no matter how bad it is. There's technology that's coming to help us. Science is advancing that can help. Things change. So that's why I say, even if things seem impossible to you, just write down what you want. Write down the steps that you can do the baby steps right now today. What can you do today? You can grab your notebook and you can grab a pen. You can write down what your dream is. You can do that. Start with that. Just try it. You got nothing to lose. Just write it down. Then try the downsizing. Try to get rid of your knickknacks. I know some of you are like, I don't want to, and that's okay. Then this is not for you. I'm talking to those of you who just will do anything to find your dreams and to follow them, whatever they might be. Or some of you might want to find a partner to spend the rest of your days with. It's not an easy thing. Many of you know, some of you have been married and divorced many times, and it's not easy. So get your notebook out, write down what you're looking for, and go from there. I can't tell you, everyone's individual, what you're looking for and how you feel and what you could do to be the best you that you can be. I think that's really important for us to do as we go through the journey of life, no matter what we want to do. We don't need to change who we are to please other people. I don't believe in that. We can always improve ourselves, I believe, in all aspects, in health, in the way you view the world, your perception of things. Try to be more positive. I tell you, that's half the battle. If you're negative about everything and you find the negativity in everything, it's going to bring you down and it'll just stop you right in your tracks. So just turn it around. If you've got this thought of a negative thought, try to say, what's the good here? And you're going to say, there's no good here. There's none. It can't get any worse than this. Think about it. Because it takes like practice to stay positive. Because I know from experience, it just takes practice to stay positive. You keep throwing those negative thoughts out, you're just going to feel like crap. You turn it around a little bit, and then when you find yourself going negative, which I do all the time, but I say, wait a minute, stop that. All right, what's good here? And I go from there. It's the only way to move forward. I've talked to a lot of you, and we've all gone through hell and back with death of children, brothers, parents, family members, sickness, loss of job, losing your houses, divorces. There's so many bad things that can happen, and that has happened to all of us. People don't like to share everything because it's a personal matter, but know that you're not alone, that people are going through what you're going through, maybe in different ways or in different times in their life. I really like our channel, and I say our channel because this channel is nothing without you folks. So I feel like we're here to support each other, as I mentioned in another video. And please feel free to comment below of what your dreams are. Maybe we can help each other out or get some tips and ideas from others that you never had thought of. Our goals and dreams can be had. Maybe it's going to happen later, but only if you start planning now. I know our plan's going to take a good 3 years. If I'm lucky, maybe less, but I'm saying 3 years. Some of you may have dreams that are 10 years out, 15 years out, 20 years out. But have that notebook, because you know what's kind of neat is looking back at your notes years later, and you're like, oh, look at these questions I had, or it's just pretty interesting, and you could see how far you've come and that you've actually achieved many of the dreams, even the small little goals and dreams you have. Write them down, because it makes you feel better when you say, you know what, I was able to do this, something I never thought I could do, and I did it, all by your lonesome. Maybe, of course, with some support of your friends and family, but you did it because you decided to do it. Well, I'll leave it at that, but if you have any questions, and like I said, comment below if you want to share what your dreams are, and maybe we could help make those dreams come true. You just don't know, and sometimes you have to let it marinate, these ideas in your mind, before you can, and sometimes you're not sure exactly what you want. You have an idea what you want, a general idea what you want, but you don't know exactly what, but it doesn't matter. Write down what the general feel of what you're looking for. More money, happiness, whatever it is, write it down, and then you can start asking yourself these questions. What will make me happy? What is it that I want in life? And sometimes you don't know unless you ask yourself, and you like write it down and talk to people. I love this, like I said, YouTube channel because I could talk to you folks, and then when I do, my brain starts moving and I start thinking of things, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I never thought of something like that. It's better than probably going to a therapist, so, and it's free. Something to think about if you don't have a YouTube channel. I highly recommend having one. I'm pretty tech unsavvy, and it took me months and months and months and hours upon hours to figure out the editing, because there's a lot of pauses in these videos that you don't know about where my mind is just going off into space. You know, I'm sitting there for a few minutes because I'm thinking, or I forgot what I was going to say, and so I get to edit all that. I do recommend that you learn how to edit videos. There's a lot of YouTube videos to teach you how to do it, and every software is different, so you'd have to find a channel that can help you. So anyways, thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you like, and follow those dreams. Don't let fear or anything else stop you. You could do it.